This is SOSF. So, I was looking at these numbers, they're insane. By 2030, just the new power AI needs is like adding the entire country of Japan to the grid. Think about that. We're building a monster and we're all just watching. Just plop. Hey, we need another Japan's worth of power. By 2030. Go figure it out. That's insane. That's not a small change. That's a structural, like, a species-level change in how we use energy. And the guys on Wall Street? The Goldman Sachs guys? They're even more. I don't know. Freaked out? Excited? They're telling their big money clients that AI is an energy monster. That's their word. A monster. They're predicting like a 165%, maybe 175% jump in data center power use. They're telling people this is a super bull market for anything that makes or moves electricity. And it's not just the big picture. The micro, the small scale stuff, is just as wild. They're talking about these new data centers, not the ones we have now for your email and websites, but AI factories. These things are just different. A single rack of the new AI servers. Just one. It's like the size of a big refrigerator. That one rack, they say, could need 600 kilowatts of power by 2027. Again, 600 kilowatts. It's just a number. What is that? It's enough to power 500 American homes. One rack. A single data center, one of these new AI factories, could have thousands of these racks. You're talking about the power consumption of a major city. 1 million people. All inside one concrete box. Just humming away. Training some AI to write a better movie script or whatever. And this is where it gets kind of weird, because my first thought, and maybe yours too, is, well, the tech will get better, right? The chips will get more efficient. Won't that solve it? No. It's the opposite. This is the part that blew my mind. There's this economic idea from the 1800s, seriously, called the Jevons paradox. This guy, William Jevons, he noticed that when they made steam engines more efficient, when they got them to burn less coal, the total amount of coal being burned in the country didn't go down. It went up. Why? Because when you make something cheaper and more efficient, people don't use less of it. They use infinitely more. It's like, if you invented a car that got 500 miles a gallon, people wouldn't just drive to work and save money. They'd start driving to the corner store just for a pack of gum. They'd become pizza delivery guys just for fun. They'd take road trips to see the world's biggest ball of twine. You make it cheap, we use more. That is exactly what is happening with AI. The chip makers, these guys are geniuses, right? They just announced a new chip, the Blackwell GPU, and it's a beast. They say in some specific AI jobs, it's 25 times more efficient than the last one. 25. And you think, great, we'll save 25 times the power. No. What that means is, all the things that were too expensive to do yesterday. Training a model with 10 trillion parameters instead of 1 trillion. Running a simulation of the entire global weather system. Having an AI agent that runs your entire life. All that stuff just became 25 times cheaper. We're not going to run the same number of AI tasks and save power. We're going to run 100 times, 1,000 times, more AI tasks. That new chip isn't a solution to the energy problem. It's gasoline on the fire. It's the accelerant. It's the thing that's making the demand explode. So, okay, we've established this thing as a monster. It needs a city's worth of power. And it's only getting hungrier. So, where does the power come from? This is the next crazy part. For the last, 10 or 15 years, what have all these big tech companies been talking about? Green energy, right? We're 100% renewable. We're carbon neutral. They bought up all this solar power, all this wind power, which is great. Love it. But here's the problem. AI. It's not like your email. You can wait a millisecond for an email if the wind stops blowing. AI, especially an AI that's running a self-driving car, or landing a rocket, or trading stocks, it cannot stop. Ever. It can't get intermittent power. It can't run only when the sun is shining. It needs 24/7, 365. Baseload power. Rock solid, stable, always on juice. And guess what gives you that? Two things, really. Natural gas, and nuclear. So, get this. All these big tech companies, the biggest ones in the world, are quietly, very quickly, doing a complete 180. They are running, not walking, running towards nuclear power. Bought Amazon. Amazon is building a new data center campus in Pennsylvania. Where is it? Right next to a nuclear power plant. They're just plugging it directly into the reactor, cutting out the middleman. Just, give me the juice. Microsoft. They signed a deal to help restart a nuclear reactor. The old 3 Mile Island plant? They're helping bring part of it back to life to power their data centers. Google, Meta, they're all signing these massive, long-term contracts. Power purchase agreements, not for a new solar farm, but for the output of existing nuclear power plants. This is a fundamental shift in the world. These tech companies, which are now the biggest companies in history, are becoming the biggest power customers in history. And they're making strategic bets on nuclear. They've realized that this AI revolution they're building, it's completely, 100% dependent on boring, old-school, baseload power. And this creates this whole new game. Who wins? Well, first, the guys who own the power plants. There's this one company, Constellation Energy. Turns out, they just happen to own the largest fleet of nuclear power plants in America. 21 reactors. Man, talk about being in the right place at the right time. For years, nuclear was, not the cool kid. It was expensive. People were scared of it. Now, Constellation is holding the golden ticket. They're the only ones who can sell these tech giants what they desperately need. Massive, 24/7, carbon-free power. And they are signing decades-long contracts at amazing prices. Their stock has gone just vertical, because they're not a sleepy old utility company anymore. They're the gas station for AI. And then there's the other side of it. Okay, you make the power. How do you get it to the AI factory? This is where the real bottleneck is. The grid. Our power grid, it's old, man. It's ancient. A lot of it was built in the 50s and 60s. It was built for light bulbs and refrigerators. It was not built for a million-person city to suddenly pop up in a field in Ohio. And the AI guys, they're not building their data centers in downtown Manhattan. They're building them in places like Northern Virginia. They call it Data Center Alley. Or out in Ohio, or Nebraska, or Pennsylvania. Why? Cheap land, cheap power. But the grid there is even less prepared. In Northern Virginia, it's so crazy that the local utility company, a company called Dominion Energy, has basically become the most important gatekeeper to the entire AI boom. Think about this. Dominion has a regulated monopoly. That's a fancy way of saying they are the only company legally allowed to sell power in that region. And they are legally required to provide power to anyone who asks. So, all these tech giants come knocking, saying, hey, we're building 10 new AI factories. We need, the power of a small country. By next year. And Dominion, they just hit the jackpot. Because in their business model, every dollar they spend on new stuff, new power plants, new transmission lines, new everything, they get to charge their customers for, plus a guaranteed profit approved by the state. They have to go on a building spree. They have no choice. And they are guaranteed to make money on it. They're in the eye of the storm. But it's not even about the power plants. The real problem, the thing that's making executives sweat, is the boring stuff. The picks and shovels. In the gold rush, the guys who got rich weren't the prospectors. Most of them went broke. The guys who got filthy rich knew the ones selling the picks, and the shovels, and the blue jeans. That's what's happening now. The picks and shovels of the AI power revolution are things like transformers. Not the movie. The big, gray, humming metal boxes you see outside of factories. The ones that take high voltage power from the big lines and step it down so the building can use it. These things they're not simple. A big, high voltage transformer is the size of a garage. It's full of copper. It's incredibly complex to build. You can't just buy one at Home Depot. And guess what? There are only a few companies in the world that make them. And the wait list, the backlog, to get a new one? It's not weeks. It's not months. It's years. I'm reading here, 2, 3, even 4 years to get a big transformer. So, you're a tech giant. You just spent $10 billion on a new AI factory. You've got all the genius chips. You're ready to go. And you call up the utility, and they say, great, we'll have your power hooked up. The transformer should be here in 2029. It's a total showstopper. The whole multi-trillion-dollar AI revolution is grinding to a halt. Because we can't build boring gray boxes fast enough. This is the real story. The entire ecosystem is bottlenecked. Goldman Sachs, again. They're saying we need, get this, $720 billion just in grid-related investment by 2030. Just to support the data centers. So, who's selling the shovels? This is where it gets really interesting. It's a handful of companies. Two big ones are Eaton and Schneider Electric. You've probably never heard of them. I hadn't. But these guys, they make the guts of the grid. They make the switchgear, the giant, complex circuit breakers that keep the grid from exploding. They make the busways, the big metal bars that carry insane amounts of current inside the data center. They make all the specialized, high-tech, unsexy stuff that is absolutely critical to making an AI factory work. And here's the kicker. These companies, they're not just selling parts to the AI guys. They are partnering directly with the chip makers. Eaton, Schneider. They are working hand in hand with NVIDIA, the king of AI chips, to design the entire AI factory from the ground up. They're not just building a better part. They're inventing a new system. They're moving to 800-volt DC power. Your house runs on 120-volt AC. This is a totally different kind of electricity. It's way more efficient for this kind of work, but it requires everything to be re-engineered. And these two companies, Eaton and Schneider, they're basically creating a duopoly on the reference design. When NVIDIA tells a tech giant, here's the blueprint for our new AI factory, whose parts do you think are in that blueprint? It's brilliant. They've embedded themselves at the source. And there's one more guy, a company called Vertiv. If Eaton and Schneider are doing the big grid stuff and the power distribution, Vertiv is doing the life support. They're all about two things, power and cooling. We talked about the power, a 600 kilowatt rack, 500 homes worth of power, in a refrigerator-sized box. What happens when you use that much power? Heat. Insane, unimaginable amounts of heat. These new chips, they run so hot, you can't cool them with air anymore. It doesn't work. The air conditioning systems we've used for 30 years are now obsolete. So, what's the solution? Liquid. They are literally dunking the computers in specially engineered, non-conductive liquid. It's called immersion cooling. They just submerge the entire server. Or, they're doing direct-to-chip cooling, where they're running little pipes of liquid directly onto the surface of the chip. Like the radiator in your car, but for a tiny billion-dollar processor. This is not simple. This is extreme plumbing. And Vertiv, they are the leader. And just like the other guys, guess who they're partnered with? NVIDIA. Vertiv is so deep in with them. They're in the partner network. They're a solutions advisor. They are co-developing the power and cooling for the next generation of chips. The ones that aren't even out yet. They're working on the power systems for the Rubin Ultra platform, which is, like, the 2027 model. It's a locked-in system. NVIDIA designs the brain. And Vertiv, Eaton, and Schneider design the body and the circulatory system. And the numbers show it. Vertiv's orders, they're up 60% year over year. 60. Their backlog, the stuff people have already paid for but they can't build fast enough, is $9.5 billion. This isn't a guess that AI is going to be big. This is the receipt. The orders are already in. The money is already being spent. It's happening on a scale that's hard to comprehend. And we haven't even talked about the buildings. Who owns the real estate? These are called data center rights. Real estate investment trusts. They're basically digital landlords. They just build the giant, empty, concrete shells, fill them with power and fiber optic cables, and then rent them out to the tech giants. Companies like Digital Realty. They're one of the biggest. They're just building as fast as they can. They're raising the rent on their existing buildings by 8 to 10% because there's no more space. The vacancy rate for data centers is at an all-time low. Everyone is scrambling for a building that has enough power and cooling. And there's another one, a company called Equinix. These guys they're a little different. They're not just about renting space. Their whole game is interconnection. Think of Equinix as, like, the airport hub for the internet. If you're Amazon, and you need to connect your cloud, privately and super fast, to Microsoft's cloud, or to Google's AI, or to all the big internet providers, you don't do it over the public internet. It's too slow. It's not secure. You go inside an Equinix building, and you plug a fiber optic cable directly from your rack into their rack. Equinix is the exchange. It's the digital crossroads. And in the AI world, this is more important than ever. Because an AI model, it needs to eat data. It needs to pull in massive datasets from all over the place, from all the different clouds, all at once. Equinix is that all-at-once place. So, you see the stack? You've got the AI brains, NVIDIA. You've got the digital landlords building the house, Digital Realty. You've got the digital airport connecting all the houses, Equinix. You've got the life support and plumbing inside the house, Vertiv. You've got the picks and shovels building the power lines to the house, Eaton, Schneider. You've got the gatekeeper utility deciding who gets a line, Dominion. And you've got the gas station itself, the power plant, sitting there, churning out 24/7 juice, Constellation. It's an entire new industrial ecosystem, being built, right now, faster than anyone can really track. And, you gotta be real about it. There are risks. This isn't a done deal. What's the risk? Well, the boring stuff again. Interest rates, all this stuff. Nuclear plants, transmission lines, giant data centers. This is the most expensive stuff you can possibly build. It's all financed with debt. If interest rates stay higher for longer, as they say, it just makes all of this way more expensive. It could slow things down. Regulations. This is the big one. You can't just build a new nuclear plant. I was reading it can take 10 to 15 years just to get the permits before you pour one drop of concrete. 10 years. We need the power now. Even getting a permit for a transmission line, just the poles and wires, can take 5, 7, 10 years because it has to cross 3 states, and 500 backyards, and everyone sues everyone. The speed of the AI guys. We need a new city's worth of power by 2027, is slamming headfirst into the speed of the real world. Our permit process will be done in 2035. That's the real fight. And copper. All this stuff. Transformers, wires, busways, motors. It's all copper. The price of copper is going insane. Because everything is being electrified at once. Electric cars, the grid, and AI. We might just not be able to dig enough of it out of the ground. So, it's wild, man. This whole thing. This AI revolution. It feels so virtual. It feels like it's about ideas and information. But it's not. It's a physical revolution. It's about mass and energy. It's about steel, and concrete, and copper, and water, and uranium. It's an industrial boom. We're not building a metaverse. We're building the biggest, most power-hungry machine in human history. And we're doing it on top of an infrastructure that was built for our grandparents. And the people who are gonna really win are the ones who understand that. The ones who own the real stuff. The power plants, the grid, the factories that make the transformers, the companies that make the plumbing for these AI monsters. It's just a whole new world. And we're all just trying to figure out what it means. We're all focused on the intelligence part of artificial intelligence. But the real story, the real bottleneck, the real war, is going to be about the power. It makes you wonder. We're building this thing. This God, this super intelligence. And we're doing it by basically agreeing to double our global power footprint, to re-engineer the entire planet's energy grid, all to feed it. And it just leads to this one crazy, open-ended question that I can't get out of my head. We're spending trillions of dollars, and rerouting rivers, and building nuclear reactors, all to create a machine that can think. What if the first truly intelligent thing it does is look at the electric bill? See you next time.